Good day, everyone. Welcome back to the channel, Crypto Flight Edition of this channel. Fellow passengers speaking here, guys. I want to go over a topic today. This is probably going to be a pretty touchy topic. Probably going to get some very interesting comments down in the comment section about this, but I feel as though this needs to be discussed, okay? And as the title suggests, what I'm talking about is BTC CME futures, the chart, okay? And of course, the gaps that are within the charts. Now, before you start saying that gaps don't matter and, you know, this and that, guys, just trust me on this, okay? I've been studying gaps on the CME futures chart for quite some time now, just over 2.5 years. Not a long time, but I feel as though it's enough experience for me to have a extremely high degree level of accuracy in pointing out these gaps in the charts and knowing how, and not when, but how they will likely get filled at some point in the future. So we're going to go over that and more. Stick around to the end, guys. Let's not waste any time. Let's dive right into the charts here, shall we? All right, so today's November the 5th, 2020. The current price of the CME futures chart is, the price is going to be $15,800, up about 3.5% for the day, okay? Now, let's talk about this, guys, because this is one of the things that I think a lot of people fail to understand when there's a lot of bullish momentum in the charts and they just feel as though that they should be oblivious to this fact. Now, it's clear to me, at least, that there's multiple lower gaps in the charts that some people, they realize that there's gaps there, and there's some gaps that some people don't even realize that are there, okay? Now, there's been a gap in the CME futures chart that many, I don't even think, still understand that it's there, and it's been there for actually quite some time, actually ever since 2007. So this is a gap that's been in the chart for like 3 years. That gap is actually near $16,000 to $18,000. We should have a video popping on the screen there saying that I predicted earlier this year in April 2020 that BTC could reach $16,000 to $18,000. It actually had something to do with the gap, yes, but it had more to do with me understanding candlestick patterns, wicks above and below candlesticks, and how they will eventually reach those levels at some point in the future. So it was a combination of things of how I was able to determine that level, $16,000 to $18,000. And obviously BTC is $200 away from 16,000, so I'm no genius, and it actually hasn't even happened yet. But I guess if we look on this wick here, I guess we can go ahead and officially say that that call was actually pretty accurate. The high of this November 6th daily candle in the soup, no, the daily candle here is $16,155. So no applause, please. It looks like this call made back in April 2020 has so far come to fruition. Obviously, it still hasn't reached $18,000, but I think that I should, not get a reward, but I mean, that was a pretty good call, I must say, for myself, and get a little pat on my back there, okay? All right, enough of that. So right now we're up against the CME futures chart. I think we discussed this broadening wedge pattern where it broke down, and then of course we were saying that it needed to get back above this support line in order to reach this resistance line, and it looks like it's a few percentage points away from that line. It looks like about 5% overhead to reach that level. So that would be really nice to see finally play out, as I don't think many people even have this weird chart or pattern here. And it may not even be a pattern, right? I mean, I could just, I don't know what it is, guys, okay? But the top of that line is going to be sitting at about $16,700 if it happens on this daily candle. The next daily candle looks like it's going to be over the weekend, November the 9th. So they're going to, CME futures are going to be closed. And if it decides to continue up, it'll be at about 16,700, about the same on that next daily open, okay? So that's something that I'll be paying attention to. And let's talk about the gaps here, guys. And I know people, some people don't truly understand it, but I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. And I know people are going to disagree. But the CME futures have more control over the BTC price than any other platform or any other thing that I personally can understand as far as my knowledge goes. And this will change when BTC eventually obliterates $20,000 and never returns. Okay. Until that happens, I will continue to believe or speculate, rather, whichever one, and I could be wrong about this. This is just my opinion. Take it easy. I'm in the comment section. But my opinion is, as long as BTC is below $20,000, here represented where the CME futures actually started, it's a high of $20,650. Well, it opened, yeah, pretty much opened in a high of $20,650. Until BTC obliterates $20,000 and never returns, I will always believe that the CME futures participants have more control over the BTC price than anyone else. You can argue that me, that's fine, guys. But ever since 2017, December, represented here on this chart, the BTC price has always, I repeat again, been below this green line that I just put on the chart here. It's quite clear. It doesn't take a genius to see this. The price has been subjected to all price manipulation below this green line. And I'm going to say, I mean, I hate to say price manipulation as if it's like an excuse, but all they're doing is they're just taking your BTC, guys. They're pushing the price down. You guys are selling them your BTC. They push the price up. You buy back in and potentially don't even sell when you're in profits. And then they're slamming the price back down. They're buying your BTC, guys. It's all a game, right? And it's all being controlled, my opinion, by the CME futures, okay? The relevant market participants who are in the CME futures, okay? BTC went from $20,000 all the way down to $3,100. I mean, that's an 85% correction in the market. So, and as you see, I think they call like the ebb and flows, right? The swinging up and down in the charts. All they're doing is buying your BTC, guys. That's all they're doing, okay? So just, I know people are going to disagree with that, but that's just my way of looking at this, guys. It's been below 20K for all this time, and that's all they're doing, accumulating the BTC that those who have weak hands are selling out into the markets to them, okay? So the gaps, I guess in closing here, let's just kind of point out a few gaps that are pretty obvious on the chart here. Let's see, the first gap is actually going to be just below the price there at about $15,300 and $15,675. That's the most recent gap just printed on the chart there. Will they get filled? If you ask me, yes, they will eventually get filled at some point, okay? And the way that this is setting up is making me a little nervous because the scenario that I think that would have potentially played out may be in the works right now. I know I'm going to get some hate for saying this, but BTC may be headed to $20,000, $22,000. And when it reaches that level, hopefully it doesn't get rejected, because if it does get rejected and it doesn't obliterate 20K, guys, I'm going to say it again. I've said this before. BTC will then be subjected to potentially, not guaranteed, reach lower lows. Okay, lower lows meaning lower than $3,100, guys. I'm sorry. I'm just the messenger. I'm just looking at the charts and how these things are playing out, and they're presented to me. And I hope I'm totally wrong about that. Okay. So the next lower gap that I'm noticing here on the chart is going to be 11,300. And the lower, let's see, it's just at 11,100. So that gap in between that level, there's a gap there as well. And the next obvious gap, and we're not going to point out anymore, we'll close this out, between $9,600, let's see there, up to $9,900. So these are the current gaps on the CME futures chart. If you ask me, will they eventually get filled? Take it easy on me in the comment section, but yes. If BTC does not obliterate $20,000 and never return, these CME futures gap will eventually get filled. That's all I got for you guys. It's Napoleon Macro. I'm going to go ahead and sign off here. Thanks for tuning in, guys. And please leave an appropriate thumb just below the video there. That'll be interesting to see. Leave a comment down below as well. I'm very bullish on BTC, guys. I'm conservatively very bullish on BTC. I don't want to sound like I'm just extremely bearish on BTC. I'm very bullish, guys, okay? So I'll catch you guys in the next video. Thanks for stopping in here with me, guys, putting up with me here. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Be sure to take care and click that video on the screen as well, just to make sure that we're staying accurate in our thesis on the channel here. That's it, guys. I'll talk to you next time. Take care.